Maybe we should start. I feel like when I looked at you, then you looked around.
Oh, welcome to another video. And in today, as you can see, I have a special guest. I brought my friend Ashely along, and we're gonna talk today about anxiety. And today we're gonna talk about how she's overcome her anxiety. So let's get into it. Have you had anxiety most of your life, or is it more of a recent thing?
I've had anxiety, I would say, ever since I was young. It got really bad in university, where I became really aware that I had anxiety, and I had symptoms and dealt with that really on a daily basis.
That's a long time. And then most recently, during kind of this whole lockdown situation, that's when you really overcame your anxiety.
Yes, I haven't had no, it's good.
During the most stressful and crazy time of all of our lives, during COVID, during quarantine, during lockdown. So I think that's super interesting. I really wow. So I believe there are 4 steps that you have to follow when you're having an anxiety attack.
Exactly.
Okay, so walk us through them.
So the first step is you write down your worst case scenario. Because oftentimes when we're anxious, we catastrophize. Think of the worst case scenario. So for example, me during the pandemic, we started closing in March, and I was supposed to have my wedding in May. So I had already sent out my invites, and I had anxiety over that, obviously. Am I gonna lose my deposits? Am I gonna be able to postpone? What's gonna happen with this and that? So that would be something that I would write down. So actually my worst case scenario would be I'll lose all my deposits, the hall is going to shut down. Step 2 is you write the solution to that, so to your worst case scenario. So in my example, it would be you can find a different vendor, you can save up more money, and also it's not a life or death situation. Step 3 is how likely is it to happen. Sometimes we worry about things that really aren't likely to happen. In that case, you can go right away to your step 4, and if there is a high chance, well, you can still go to your step 4, which is what is something useful you can do instead of worrying about it.
Sorry.
So now that we've gotten all that out of the way and we wrote it down, if you have chores to do, go get those done.
Errands. Clean, do anything productive basically. And just to take your
mind off of the anxiety.
Okay. Because at that point, now you focused on it. You dissected it.
Yeah.
And now it's time to not be in that space anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just the fact, often sitting down, writing down, already that helps a lot with the anxiety.
I feel like it's also because when you're feeling anxiety, it's such an internal thing that when you get it out of your body by writing it down, oh, it must be such a relief, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really cool. So number 1, write down catastrophize
your worst
case scenarios.
Go there.
Live in that.
Yeah.
And then number 2, write down how you'd react.
Yeah, your solutions
to the worst case scenarios.
Yeah. Number
3, how likely is it to happen?
Yeah.
Because then you can think, okay, if it's really not that likely, that could make you feel better in the moment. Okay, that's a 1% chance of happening or whatever. Okay.
And if it is very likely, over 50%, then you can go back to your step 2, which is how you will deal with it.
And then step 4, do something useful. Get your mind off of it. Do something other than what you just did.
Exactly.
Okay. And so by doing that, you really noticed a difference.
Yeah. There was that, and a second thing, because sometimes when you feel overwhelmed by a bunch of things, I've had anxiety where I don't even know why I have anxiety, but I just feel all the anxiety symptoms. This often happened to me after very high periods of stress, during my finals in university. So what I would do in that case is go outside, especially at night, if it's at night, in a quiet space, and just think about things that you're grateful for.
Okay.
So you can't be grateful and anxious at the same time. So the more you think about being grateful and things you're grateful for, it should replace the anxiety with gratefulness.
Amazing. And it sounds like everybody is talking about being grateful, be grateful, this and that, but it truly is a feeling that is so powerful.
Yes. Plus, it can also put you in a better mood. You think about things you're grateful for, and
for
you feel
sure.
happier.
So those 4 steps and gratitude, the combination has really helped your anxiety.
Yes. Like,
Wow.
I used to have anxiety attacks at least once a day. Sometimes waking me up at night, often waking me up at night, every night.
And then what do you do?
3
Like,
a.m.
you would just wake up and what would happen?
I had a friend, my friend Alana, who has also experienced anxiety. So I used to always message her, and I would just talk to her just to kind of get distracted. But I needed a way to not have to always rely on someone and not bother someone like in the middle of the night.
Right. Oh my gosh. And how would she help you in those moments?
She knows anxiety, she understands, so she would just kind of reassure me.
Okay. So she knew like what to do.
Yeah,
to
what
help.
to say.
Okay.
I went from daily anxiety attacks, sometimes multiple times a day, often in the middle of the night, waking up with anxiety attacks, to now, I think I've had maybe a total of 3-4 short-lived anxiety attacks since last July.
Oh my gosh. And we're a few months away from July.
Yeah, so it's almost been a year.
Wow, that's incredible, Ash.
Thank you.
And
It
all
feels
this
great.
through the most stressful time in life. Like, wow.
Yeah. I had a prescription for anxiety pills.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to take them. During the pandemic, I worked out more. I did meditate too. And then I decided to take a 5-course session online for mental health. And it really helped me.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Like,
I'm proud of
wow.
me too.
Yeah. And how does your husband help deal with or interact with you when you're having an anxiety attack, or when you used to? Like, I wouldn't know what to do if somebody was going through that next to me.
He was always really, really patient and understanding, and he would wake up and like rub my back and ask me if he can do anything, or hug me. And often that did also help. Like, that definitely helped. But sometimes I would also like really not want to wake him up, so I'd like go quietly to the washroom and just text my friend or whatever. He is the opposite of anxious. Like, the complete opposite. He doesn't know what anxiety is, what it feels like. Like, he's obviously felt stressed before, but nothing like I've ever felt.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I can't picture Peter being anxious at all.
No. Maybe that has helped me too a lot.
Right.
Well, it definitely has.
Yeah, for sure. What is a piece of advice you can give somebody out there who is in a position of having their loved one have anxiety? Like, what are things that you appreciated?
You know, he could have gotten upset at me waking him up in the middle of the night. Honestly, just being there, like waking up and actually sitting with me.
Okay, that's so nice.
I mean, you don't have to, if your partner has anxiety, you don't have to wake up every night with them and like, you know, but it is nice to sometimes feel like you have someone who's there.
Who's going through it with you almost. I learned a lot in this conversation. Good, I'm so happy. Well, that is it for today's video, everyone. We would love to thank Ashely for being here with us. Here are the steps you can follow mixed with gratitude, and you may have yourself a recipe for getting rid of your anxiety like Ashely did. So that is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this video with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.